with 2009, I was playing soccer. After that first soccer season got over, late October, in a house that I was living with here in Galesburg, I kind of walked in on a home invasion, and it was just being in the wrong place at the wrong time at that point. And I kind of got locked in the house, and unfortunately, I got shot pretty much from like me to you with the .45 caliber to the chest, and it was a kill shot at that point. And so when all that happened, my life definitely took a turn.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's the Talk About It podcast. I'm Lauren Fulmer.
I'm Victor Dantas.
And we're going to knock out another fun episode. Today we have Adam Pacheco with us. Adam, how are you, man?
I'm doing fine. How are you guys doing?
Good. Appreciate you coming, checking out our setup and joining us on the Talk About It podcast.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Yeah, for sure. So, Adam, you're in a band. You're the owner of the Patio Bar and Grill in Galesburg. Mm-hmm. But, you're many other things at that, too. But why don't you just kind of tell us about yourself? Who's Adam Pacheco?
I'm sure a lot of people could probably tell you that, good and bad, just like anything. I don't know, man. I'm a family guy. I was raised by my dad, who was a very a working man in the Marines for about 11 years. So I got a good work ethic, good family, good backbone, and stuff like that. I grew up playing music since high school, and so I've been in a lot of bands, and played soccer, went to Carl Sandburg, played soccer there for a while in 2009, and that was when it first started. And when did you play soccer?
Yep, I played in 2016.
16? Mm. Yeah, and it was rough. It was so rough in the first year, dude.
In 09?
Yeah. It was like Craig Mason. We had a lot of throwing together people, man. It was rough.
Nice.
The quality wasn't there.
No, man. No, not at all. Got whooped by everybody.
You got to start somewhere.
You do, but now look at it.
Yep. Yeah, it's top 10 in the nation now.
It's thriving, man.
That's crazy to think it's gone now.
Keve's done a great job with that program.
He did.
And
so
then now,
15 years. You 09. So in 15 years, it's turned around like that. That's crazy.
Yeah, yep. And you got Gerardo, who's doing a great job now, too.
Yep.
Kicking butt.
Nice.
Yeah.
So you mentioned music, especially. I know music's a very important part of your life.
It really is,
man.
When
did you, at an early age, or what got you into music?
My cousin John Simpkins, he played piano and he played the guitar, and he's just very inspiring. And I was like, man, I want to play the guitar. So then I asked my mom and dad for a bass, out of all things. And so for Christmas one year, I got a bass guitar, an electric one, and I loved it. It was shiny gold with sparkles in it. I learned that by ear, and then I wanted the acoustic guitar, 6-string guitar. I learned that, and I loved it. And then eventually I just fell into playing the drums. And so I just kind of took off with that. And so the drums have taken me a lot of places. I've met a lot of different people, played a lot of different venues, played summer camp music festival. But I started with metal bands, which I was never familiar with, I wasn't big on metal, I had no idea what the heck that was. So I had a couple buddies that needed a drummer, and look, this is what we're playing. And they start jamming. I'm like, what in the heck? I couldn't keep up with it. So, but I eventually learned how to, play faster, play louder. And then, I met up with a hip-hop artist and, just filled in with cameos for music videos and stuff like that. And, just one thing after another.
The drums have always interested me. I wanted, to me, that's the badass in the group is the guy back there killing it. As a kid, that's what I've always, so I would always mess around and that's some hard stuff to be hitting everything. And then, God forbid, you get that foot pedal going. That's where I fall apart.
Yeah, well, I can't teach the drums to anybody. People are always can you teach my kid this? I'm like, I can't do that. That's not what I do.
Right.
Just like I can't teach soccer. You're a good coach. You can teach pretty well and coach pretty well, but I could not coach or teach for.
Are you the type of guy that just listen and you learn just by listening? Never took classes?
Yep, just watch somebody if they can do it. I'm like, all right, I can do that. Something like that.
That's always blown me away. I got a nephew that's kind of the same way. Like can play anything, like the piano, the bass, the guitar, the drums. It's just like
I think most of the top guys, they learned like this, just watching and listening. Because if you listen and you if you like some type of beat, like the more you listen, then you already know what you like. Your coordination, it goes with the music. It's not about you a teacher saying you need to do this and this. No, you listen and then you start doing, right?
You feel it. Yeah,
you feel it. I play some percussion instruments. I'm not good at drums, but in Brazil we have different instruments for samba and funk and other stuff. But yeah, everything that I can do is based on what I'm listening. Never someone taught me anything either.
Yeah, some of the best music, man, just comes from the feeling.
Yep.
It's never about keeping time. You know, if you get too technical, you get too wrapped up in that, you just kind of lose,
Yeah, because you can't be robotic. You need to do your different things during a music, and you cannot just keep on the same beat because it's too boring.
Exactly.
That's probably why I suck at it. 'Cause I'm thinking more of like the strategy, I guess, or the science behind whatever. You just got to get the feel and go.
Yeah, well, just like anything in life, sports to whatever it is that you love or have passion for. If you think too much, man, you're hurting yourself. You're overthinking things. Just let it come natural to you. Whether it's catching a baseball, whatever it is.
Can you play the piano real well?
I can make up stuff. Yeah, I can make up some melodies and hit some notes that kind of match. But no, I can't read music or nothing like that.
See, my mom put my brother and I in piano lessons at a young age, and she played the piano. I used to watch my mom play the piano, and I would love it. Watching her, she would kill it.
Yeah.
And so I wanted to be able to do it, but I was pretty simple, and after that I was done. Right. I didn't keep up with it at all. I always loved music. I still love music, That's why I spent 10 years working at the radio station, which is like music all day long.
Yeah.
But I have no skill set in it whatsoever.
Yeah.
Do you play at the bar? At the patio?
Yeah, I try to stay away from playing there. I don't want to run off the customers. There's a lot of older crowd there, so some of them aren't like appreciative of the style of music that we play. Which we're not playing loud music. We're not playing like rock and roll, bluesy, psychedelic, reggae and stuff like that. Which is still not, everyone doesn't like that type of music, but. If we can play other gigs at other venues and stuff, like that's what we want to do. So, but every so often we'll play at the patio, outside though. Like we did play inside, and it kind of backfired.
It's loud.
It is loud. Yeah. It doesn't matter what kind of music I guess you play inside there. It's a small space. It's going to be loud. People just want to hang out, watch the baseball game, and talk to each other. But you can't do that with loud music.
Right.
So now we got a stage outside, which is awesome, and so that's what we kind of play. But lately we've been getting the cops called on us, so
for playing outside.
Yeah.
After what? Isn't it? You can be loud outside till what, 9 or 10? I feel
at night. Yeah, at 10 o'clock. Yeah, so 10 o'clock at night is the cutoff from now on. Like I've learned the hard way, and the cops have always been really cool about it. But in the morning time on Sundays while band practice. But lately we've been having the cops, pull up and, hey guys, when are you guys going to be done? And they're very cool about it.
Right.
Like, and the last guy that came, he was like, dude, he's like, you guys sound sick. He's like, can you play me something? And he was like over the fence, like looking, and Jared was like playing him a lick, and he's like, I won't be back. He's like 11 o'clock. We're like, yeah.
Right. So there's a thing on Sunday morning. You have to wait till a certain time.
I don't know.
Or what?
I don't know. The officer never said anything like that, but he just said he said we got these guys complaining. He's like, I don't care what you guys do. He's like, you guys are cool, but yeah.
As long as you're not like, literally, I can understand the 10 p.m. or if there is families or people trying to get their kids, whatever,
Right.
But to complain, like some people will even complain at 6 p.m. or something, and just like,
yeah,
I don't know. Everyone's got their right to.
I never realized there are some houses around there. I thought it was just
across the way there is, behind the bus station.
Yeah, they're not like right there. by any means. It's more of like a commercial or industrial environment.
It is, yeah. So, but I respect whoever it is that you know calls them, because if where I live on Broad Street, if there's an establishment that had music, I wouldn't call the cops, but you know it might get on your nerves. I can see how,
especially having little kids and stuff like that.
Right. So like again, I respect that. I'm not mad at anybody that ever calls the cops. So
yeah, no, but a drained parent who's trying to get a kid down in nap time, they don't mess with that nap time, man.
For real, yeah,
yeah,
totally understandable.
Speaking of parent, you got 2 kids, right?
Yeah, I got a 13-year-old daughter, Izzy, and I got Avon. He's 3 years old. So they're 10 years apart. Yeah, they got a great relationship.
Good. I didn't know your son's only 3. For some reason in my head, because I've seen some soccer videos and stuff of him like just starting to get into it, right?
Yeah.
For some reason, I could have thought like he was 5 or 6-ish.
Yeah. No, he's a bigger kid for his age.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I saw you guys riding the bike one day, eating popsicle.
Yeah. Was that yesterday?
Yeah, yesterday. Maybe.
Yeah. It was hot yesterday. So me and Izzy took both the electric bikes, went all the way around the edge of town, and then we're like, you know, we told my wife, we're like, we'll go pick up Avon from daycare. And so we took his helmet and all that stuff, and we picked him up, and then we ended up just going on another, like a long bike ride around the opposite side of town and making our way back to the gas station towards our house. And we're like, dude, let's get some popsicles. And yeah, they're like the 2-foot ones.
And you rock the electric bike, right?
Yeah.
I love those.
Those are super cool. And so how I ended up on those, in my younger years, I was 25. You know, we all go through stuff in life, and so I ran into the law. You know, DUI, which then you get your license taken away, right? And so stuff like this happens, you know, in life. People get caught, people don't get caught. And then it happened again. And like, I was like 28. I was like, God, man, it sucks. Bad choices. And so that's how I ended up, you know, on the electric bikes, because you have to keep going. Like, I'm not going to be stagnant. If I don't have a car, it's like I'm not going to let that stop me from getting to my job. So I really just had to, like, you know, man, throw my pride to the side. I'm like, look, this is what I have to do to get to A to B. And then so after that, I've kind of like just respected, and like, I'm like, dude, you can do anything on these bikes. It's like, you don't have to have a fancy car, you know, stuff like that. It's nice to have those things, but yeah, that's how I kind of ended up in that. And I'm not like ashamed of that, you know, saying stuff like that. You know, people are like, man,
I think it's so cool, that bike that I always see you riding the bike.
Yeah. You know, it's so cool, man. They're kind of expensive in the beginning, but they pay themselves off, you know,
quick
in the end. Yeah.
When I always think about even stuff where I might, you know, it's almost dumb to take the car. I'm like, this is just almost lazy and stupid of me, you know. Yeah. Like having that option would be great to just jump on and go.
It is, man. Yeah. It's but yeah, when it's raining and stuff like that, you got to figure other stuff out.
True.
But nonetheless, man, I just even when all this is said and over with, like, I will continue to like ride the bike whenever I can. You know, I don't want those extra car payments, insurance payments, gas, and all that stuff. Like, I've saved a lot of money.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's how I kind of ended up on those.
How is it like to own a bar? What's some challenges that you have and some rewards that you have as well? Challenges
would I'd have to say dealing with equipment, you know, malfunctions. So, you know, it could start with a hood vent, and then like that's 1 week, and then the next week your freezer could take a crap. And then the week after that, it could be like, you know, your cooler that cools all the beers and stuff like that is just like not working correctly, and you're just like, you got to get a guy in there to, you know, maintenance it. And so it could be like, that's some challenges right there. And then like not making everybody happy. You know, there's certain customers that don't like what you're doing. There's certain customers that love what you're doing. You know, and then currently, you know, it's challenging to try to hone in on the people that really love what you're doing, rather than the small group of people that may not like what you're doing. You know, talking to Lauren, I've talked to Lauren plenty of times about kind of situations like this. You know, when he comes and chats with me at the bar, and he gives me some good insight on, like, you know, what's really important and just kind of like put the naysayers to the side. But, it's easier said than done. It is, but I'm currently working on that. But I want to make everybody happy. In a business like that, you have to have good hospitality, which I do and which I think I, bring to the table. But you got the people that try to knock you down, and whether it's they don't want to see you make it or whatever the case may be. But that's, I'm not in the business to be a millionaire. I'm not in the business for any other reason to just carry on what my dad had for 17 years. And that's pretty much all I'm in it for. And just making a cool place, for the community to go to and like have fun things to do, whether it's music, playing outdoor pool. We're going to get some other games in there as well. But I just want to provide a good place for people to come to and like have fun, laugh, eat some food, everything in one, which there's not a lot of places like that in town, but that's what I want to provide pretty much. So
is the bar busier during summer, and during the winter does it take a hit?
The summer can be kind of slow too because it's so hot.
Yeah,
people don't want to come out and sit in the outside and like right now it's super hot. You don't want to go in there and eat hot food out in the outdoor seating, but it's nice and cold inside too. But the winter time it's not that bad as you would think it would be. It's not. You get a lot more food sales in the winter time. So
well, the summer too, you got to think there's so many people that it's just busy, whether they're going boating or they have kids and travel sports and sometimes depending on what their job is, it might be their busy season. I mean, farmers and different stuff like that. But it's a lot of factors.
Yep, that's why you always got to think. I'm always thinking of ideas like what can you do to bring in foot traffic. So that's kind of where my mind is every day. Always thinking of something. But yeah.
Did you ever think, as your dad had this bar, did you ever at any point think that this would be in your hands and you'd be in doing that?
So I was working at a box factory for 10 years up until my dad passed away, and he was 61 years old. So he had everything pretty much laid out on the back end as far as like if anything were to happen to me, I got this, and this taken care of. I've always admired that, and talking to other people too, like older people that like, man, I got everything laid out. If anything happens, my kids, everything's taken care of. I'm like, that's success to me. That's really cool. And so, but the one thing that he didn't have was the bar, and so that was messy. And so when my dad passed away, I had to go through a lot of hoops and hurdles to make sure that I acquired this. And that's kind of where I lost a lot of people too. I lost a good group of customers, and for whatever reason, I have no idea. I have ideas, but I can't assume them. So I never thought I was gonna do this at all, honestly. And so it's crazy.
Yeah. Well, for being, I guess, somewhat thrown into it, I'll be the first to pat you on your back. You've done a great job with it. It's gotten like new, talking about live music. Have you done some comedy nights? You
tried
just
that out.
Anything, man. Let's try it. Let's see it. You got a pool table that's outside.
Yeah.
You fenced in. Yeah, you did the whole fence on that patio. It didn't have that before, did it?
Yeah. Me and Toby did that.
Yeah. So, I see your wheels turning, and I see you doing good stuff with it, and you're not going to please everybody. We never will, Nope. But I think what I think, for whatever it's worth, but any business, if you sit here and just try to cater to your same people, eventually you are gonna something's gonna happen. You have to generate new traffic, new people, new interests.
Yeah.
Otherwise you're just gonna have that same product, and eventually that product will get stagnant. And old.
Exactly. Yeah. And I love putting back into the business. It does cost money, but so I could sit there and save and let the place stay the same. Whatever the case may be, but. Yeah, it's anything. You got to invest. You know that. You know that. And so I just try to put money back into the place for people to enjoy. Like whether it's new paint on the walls. Like paint goes a long ways.
It does.
It really does. It'll change the whole feng shui of the place. You know, just anything like that. If I can just do something new, I'll put money back into the place so people can enjoy a nice, clean environment. You know.
Dude, let's this is switch gears. I don't mean to throw you a curveball, but this was something that we had talked about maybe a week or two, a couple of weeks ago that I had no idea. But you have had a situation where you came home and there's some people in your home, right? Why don't you talk a little bit about that?
So that with 2009, I was playing soccer. After that first soccer season got over. Late October, you know, in a house that I was living with here in Galesburg, I kind of walked in on a home invasion, and it was just being in the wrong place at the wrong time at that point. And I kind of got locked in the house, and unfortunately, I got shot, pretty much from like me to you, with the .45 caliber to the chest, and pretty much it was a kill shot at that point. And so when all that happened, my life definitely took a turn, at hindsight for the worst, because my mentality was just, you know, to crap. That was my first year of soccer, right? So then that following year I was supposed to play, so I got a full ride scholarship and stuff like that. But like, I never went back and played soccer. I pretty much went into like a dark place, you know. So like, just being here right now and how I look at life is just completely different from, you know, years ago. So yeah, it was an eye-opening experience. And so like, I was, you know, on ventilators for like 4 days, and they didn't know if I was going to make it. You know, 99% dead, and I had that 1% chance of waking up. And so, yeah, I woke up on the 4th day in the ICU, and now I'm here. And so,
why did that happen?
It's just I was just living in a house that pretty much just got hit. You know, that's being pretty vague, but you know, it can happen anywhere. You know, we've had stuff in town that's unfortunately happened to people by just being in the wrong place in the wrong time, you know. So that's pretty much what it was. It was just a crazy situation that I was involved in. And so
do you recall getting shot in the this is the pumped up air rifle. I took one point blank to the head.
You showed me that
and
picture.
Didn't feel a thing. I mean, no pain. It was just pure shock immediately, right?
Yeah, your adrenaline.
So I did not feel 1 ounce of pain when that happened to me. But that's why I wondered, like, do you recall anything like that, of being like, you know, or any?
Yeah, it hurt. It hurt a lot. And so I fell back, and I woke up. I don't know how long I was out for, but when I woke up, they were gone. And so I called the cops myself. I called 911. I was looking for my phone, called them, and they kept telling me not to fall asleep, but kept hanging up the phone or dropping the phone, whatever. Then they found me behind the door, you know, slunched over or whatever, and just I remember being on like the gurney and like the grass. They were pushing me through it, and they were bouncing all the way through. And you know what's crazy? It was Josh Weber. He's a firefighter now.
Okay, I don't think the name sounds familiar, but I'm drawing a blank.
Josh Weber, yeah. So he was like a wrestler back in Galesburg High School, I think. But yeah, he was a little older than me. And so anyways, I didn't know for years who the heck helped save me. And I always wanted to know. I was like, this is like probably 4 or 5 years ago. I'm like, who were those guys? And because I remember looking up, but I don't remember their faces. And I remember them talking to me and stuff like that. But I remember like really hurting. Like I was like, Jesus, like, can you guys just slow down? Like,
take it easy on the bumps.
Yeah, for real. On the way to try to save me.
Right.
So they got me in there, and I just remember being like, you know, am I gonna die? Like I was like, obviously it's a lot more intense than that. But I'm like, am I gonna die? I'm like, just let me know so I know what to say, like so I can tell you what to tell everybody or whoever I need to say to. And it was a scary situation, but then I don't remember much after that, as far as like getting to the hospital or nothing like that. But yeah, it was pretty bad situation. But anyways, it ended up being Josh Weber, who's now a firefighter, and I saw him at the bar one night, and I think someone came up to me. He's like, "Hey," he's like, "That's one of the guys that saved you." And I was like, "What?" It was just like crazy, man. And so I went around the bar and I told him thank you. You know, when I see him, like till this day, I always, you know, make sure I tell him thank you, man. Like appreciate it. And he probably doesn't want to hear that, but he doesn't realize how much it does mean to me, you know.
Right. That's wild.
Yeah. So so the way I live life now is just I just take it one day at a time. And that's it gets me in trouble, you know, with certain people as far as like my being sporadic and just living, you know, one step at a time, dude. And this made stupid choices. You know, I've had fun times just being like, yeah, let's do this, let's do that. Because you just never know, you know. That's so cliche. It's like you never know when your last day is. And like I did, unfortunately. So I got a second chance, and so like I just kind of just have fun every chance I get, and I try not to stress about things. That's when I try to like not let people get to me. But I was just like, stop exhausting me, stop exhausting yourself, stop stressing over like just dumb crap.
Yeah, people are wild, man. It's easy to get caught up in all that type of stuff, and then you have something like that, or even a family member that you see, and that's what makes you reflect and be like, man, I don't. You know, what are we sitting here worrying and stressing about stuff? I read something like 95% of stuff you worry about never happens. Right. You know, and like we sit here and get so consumed and, you know, just stop and enjoy the moment.
Seriously, man. Yeah, like yesterday, me and my son, like we went out and danced, like not danced, but like we just went out in the rain. Just, you know, I was like, come on, Ava, let's go. You know, just stuff like that. When they say stop and smell the roses, like literally, like try doing that sometimes. Or like when it's raining, stop running in the house. Like, oh my God, I'm getting wet. No, so we went out there with our shirts off, you know, and no shoes yesterday in front of our house and jumping in puddles, you know. Yeah. And he was out there just loving it. And, you know, I was just taking it all in, you know.
Yeah.
You know, you just got to do that sometimes.
See, and you have a young kid, you know, your son Juju too. It's like, I always think we as grown-ups and parents, we really get away from that a lot of times. And I think our children really just, dude, stop being a dad. Stop being a grown-up. Get down on the floor and, like, push a truck around with me. You know, they can't say that. But I think that's so quite often. That's all they want.
They want that, yeah.
Come be a kid, man. Quit. Yeah. And it's so fun when you actually do and you stop and you go be a kid. You're jumping in the rain, just being, you know, and their neighbors are probably like, man, Adam's back at it again. You know, or whatever. But it's like, dude, just go.
No, seriously,
It is. We fail as, you know, to do that.
We do, and I'm guilty of it still. As much as I try to live in the moment and stuff like that, like, you know, whether it's on the phone, I'm like, my face is in the phone. Because of like the business, I'm trying to make flyers, I'm trying to market, I'm trying to network, and I'm like, put that thing away. I'm like, it's gonna be there, or it may not be there, you know, tomorrow. Who knows? Like, I'm like, but he needs me right now, or my daughter needs me, or, you know, my wife needs me, and so yeah, it's frustrating. I'm guilty of it. I'm not 100%. I'm not perfect. No one ever is. No one ever will be. You'll never meet a perfect person. I don't care how much someone tries to carry themselves, you know, has it all together. It's impossible. You know, mentally, physically, financially, it doesn't really matter. You know. Yeah,
we're gonna fail. That's another thing on the parenting tip. Like, our kids just think that we're supposed to nail it every time. Like, no, man. You know, I like to tell my kids sometimes, they're like, no, I messed up 5 times already today. You know, yeah. I haven't even got you to school yet. So, like, don't think like, you know, you got to have everything together and perfect.
Yeah, yep. And if you can admit that, you know, and that kind of helps teach them too, like, you know, okay.
Yeah, I think my Julian has taught me a lot when it comes to being able to, you know, control my stress. You know, I was stressed all the time, like before I had him. It's more like about work, everything I'm involved with. And then after Julian, I understood that there are priorities, that you cannot put work in front of your kid. I see Julian growing up. I'm like, I need time with him. I need to spend more time with him, because, you know, that will never get back, that time.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I'm making sure I'm spending time with him, because I want him to remember everything that's going on.
Yeah.
You know, even if it doesn't, I will remember this time.
Exactly.
I cannot just be thinking about work all the time.
And they say time is the only thing it's literally the only thing that we can't measure. You know how much money you have, you know how many, tables and microphones and everything, but the only thing and still I can even think of, the only thing you don't know how much you have of is that time. And 100%. So when we sit here and we get glued to our phones and we're sitting here, your kid's going, hey, Dad, and you're like, man, hold on. Like, what? Come on, throw that thing. And we all do it. That's what I mean. Like, I've totally done it. Hey, one more email, one more person. Hold on, I got to make this call.
Yeah.
And it's so quick. Like,
it's frustrating, dude.
It is.
And that, cause like yesterday, you know what I'm saying? Like, that was me at one time. Wasn't like, for a long period, but nonetheless, that has happened. Like, Dad. I'm like, fuck.
Yeah.
It is. It's so hard, dude. It's super hard.
Because there are the things you need to take care as well.
Yeah, you can't just ignore
and that's
it.
where the stress comes from.
Exactly.
I need to do this, otherwise we won't pay the bills.
And you can't say that to them because they're like bills. They're like, okay, means nothing to me.
Yeah.
It's like, oh.
Yeah. I remember my mom used to tell me, and this stuck with me, but it's you didn't come with directions. Like, I'm sorry, because as a kid you'd be like, man, Mom, and we're pissed off or whatever, and like. But yeah, you didn't come with directions. And then on top of this, my first time being a parent,
right?
I'm doing my best with you. I'm not gonna succeed at all times. But yeah, sorry, the manual to how to talk to Lauren today. Like, you're gonna butcher that as a parent.
Yeah.
So what's the goal with the bar? What do you want it to get, or with the music? Where do you see yourself in 5-10 years?
Oh. That'll stress me out. That'll stress me out right there.
He said, I just told you, one day at a time, dude. That's funny. You gotta have some sort of goal or something, Or maybe the goal is to not have a goal.
I don't know. I want to just play music. I want to play music. I want to provide for my family. And whenever my day comes, if they can just be like, yo, he's a cool cat. He left us good. It's always hindsight when people pass away. Then you always appreciate the things that they brought to the table, or whatever the case may be. So maybe they may not see that right now. And my daughter's been around me when I played music her whole life, and she's like, "Yeah, that's Dad." To other people, they're like, "Oh, that's cool. You guys are playing some, cool gigs. You guys make great music." But to the kids, they're always gonna be like, "Yeah, whatever. It's just Dad." No matter what I do. But I just want to leave a good stamp on like who I was and like how I lived life, how I saw life. And music's for my soul. It's not for everybody's soul, but for me, I need it in my life to express myself and hopefully help other people. And music, when you go to bands and concerts, like, it makes you feel good. Like, you're like, I love this music, whatever the type of music genre it is, but like, I want to just help people feel good, And in the bar, I just want a place for people to go to and watch music, live music, and to just have fun again. Just go there and to not feel stressed, because everyone's stressed as it is every day. So if you can go there and laugh and shoot the shit with the next person, like, that's what it's all about, because people go to those places, whether it's before they go home, to their families, where they feel like they might be stressed, but they go to these places to kind of get away. The last thing they want to do is, hear people complain or hear, whatever, they just, last thing you want to do is just stress out more or hear about other people's problems and shit like that. But, I just want to provide a nice, clean, friendly environment, good hospitality, good music, for the soul. And I just want to continue to play music with my friends, and that's pretty much what it is.
Yeah, I was there like 2 weeks ago. I always enjoy being there. Last time I was there, Phil Garza, good old Phil Garza was there, and I talked to him. We want to bring him here.
We talked about that. Dope on him. Yeah, he's like literally the TMZ of our community.
Dude,
exactly.
People have come to where they're like, "Yo, Phil, what's going on over here?" And it's crazy.
Get him here.
I know. I told him, sit here with us, and then I talked to him for like 10 minutes, and he's like, "No, I'm not the type of guy that likes to talk, and I'm like, man, the whole town wants you there, man.
I would love to.
He would be so surprised. He would probably surprise himself as like how much he would like just talking.
Yeah.
Because he's a good guy. He always comes out there, dude.
Yeah.
God, yeah. Gotta love Phil.
I do have one question too. I was thinking of, Adam, is what's the process? You've mentioned before of doing a tryout with a band.
Yeah.
You know, as someone who doesn't, I've never been in a band. You know, you just see like guys together, and maybe being naive here, but you just thought like, oh, these guys are all friends and they share and they did this. So there's tryouts, and like you got to vibe with people, and you know, what is that like that experience of trying out, or if you've had people maybe try out for your band? I mean, I don't know, what is that?
So I've always been a part of bands that have always just been like a circle of friends, luckily, and we've always just obviously just had good chemistry friendship wise, and then we're like, oh well, we can all play instruments, so let's make a band, and then it's always worked out, luckily. I've never been in a band where we've had people try out, or I take that back, I think I was in one, but it was a bass player that tried out for us, but it wasn't even my band, whatever. But the current band I'm in, it's the People Next Door. Shout out to Jared Cox. We got John PC and Josh Lundeen. We have fun. That's probably one of my funnest bands I've ever been a part of, and we bring a lot to the table. Super cool. So then Josh Dixon, he was on here a couple episodes ago. Mm-hmm. He has this project he's been working on that I did not know about for 4 years. He is like very on it about his art. You know, he's a good artist. Yeah. You guys have seen his art, I'm sure. But dude, his music's on a whole nother level too, and I did not know he's been working on it for 4 years. I reached out to him, and we just kind of shot the crap, and he was like, well, I'll email you some of my songs I've been working on. And he's already has drums to it and all this stuff, and he has a great voice. He's the lead singer for it, and he's a drummer, so this is very intimidating for me. So he's like, learn this stuff. We'll link up one of these days at the patio or at his house, and you can play it for me. So I have never done that before in my life, and I'm kind of nervous about doing that.
You'll kill it, dude.
I'm nervous, dude.
That's so crazy.
It's a whole nother style of music. It's like reggae.
Sure.
And so I've always wanted to play in like a reggae band. But
so he sings in that band?
He does, yeah. Okay. He has a killer voice.
And what's the name of their band? What is that? Do you know?
I'll let him tell you that. I don't want to give because it's not even really out.
Josh about music at all. I don't think.
No
I
way.
don't think so. If we did, it was real little, because we were talking mostly about his art and design, and then he's messing with some racing gear and stuff. And
yeah, well, I'll let you talk to him about that, because I don't want to give it up.
No, I got you. But yeah, that's interesting.
Yeah, it's super cool though.
Well, I would look forward to seeing whatever he comes out, and you're a part of it or not, whatever. I'm sure it'll be great.
Yeah,
whatever he's doing. But
it'll be so cool to be a part of that. And I think he's ready to gig in like September. Like that's his goal. He wants to live gig in September. So I really got to dial in on this and really learn his songs. And in my band, like the guys I'm with, they're supportive of it. That's what it's all about. It's not competition.
Yeah, no one wants to have any sort of haters. It's just no good. Like, what good is that?
Nope.
So even if you're banned, dude, go get it. Yeah. So best of luck with that. Yeah. And hopefully it all goes well, which I'm sure it will.
Yeah,
I got some confidence in you. You should too.
Yeah.
You know that. You'll be fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But other than that, just music and the bar is keeping me busy with the kids.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, appreciate you coming and chilling with us, Adam.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Thank you very much.
Absolutely. Yeah, sure. We look forward to, what do you got, any upcoming gigs or anything? Any exciting stuff at the patio?
So, the band that I'm in, the People Next Door, we play this Saturday in Bushnell. It's like for a golf outing or something like that. Yeah, so it's pretty cool. And then the Vault will be there August 31st. So that's in Galesburg.
Yeah.
We have a lot of dates as well at the Patio Bar. Off the top of my head, without the date book in front of me, I can't really say. But
well, check out the Patio Bar and Grill on Facebook. You can definitely do a good job with keeping people up to date on that. And
for sure,
if you some people love those Bloody Marys with a whole bunch of stuff coming out the top.
Yeah,
and you have those loaded. So if you're looking for something like that too, go check out the Patio.
For sure. For sure.
Well, I appreciate it. It's Adam Pacheco with the Patio Bar and Grill, guys. It's the Talk About It podcast. I'm Lauren Fulmer.
I'm Victor Dantas.
And hit subscribe.
Thank you for the coffee cups, man.
These are some dope coffee mugs from Adam at the Patio, so thank you for that.
No problem.
But yeah, hit subscribe and check out the Patio. Thank you, guys.
See you guys next week.
All right. Thank you for watching this episode of the Talk About It podcast.
I'm Victor Dantas.
I'm Lauren Fulmer.
And we would encourage you guys to subscribe to the channel. And don't forget to hit the bell. It's going to be right below the video. So
hit the bell.
So you know when the next episode is up.
We appreciate all the support.
Thank you.